Balance Advisors, it is a unique and boutique corporate financial services firm. We also do accounting services as well. So that is your regulatory filings, your VAT. We also assist with incorporations, account openings, debt collections. When we say that we're the unique and boutique firm, we pride ourselves on ensuring that no matter whatever our clients' needs are, we're able to meet them. A lot of people want to be entrepreneurs because they may see the glitz and glam, right? For me, it's being able to manage my time and to do what I want when I want within the constraints of that. We only get 24 hours in a day, but how much time do you actually spend doing the things that you want to do? So I encourage any entrepreneur, anyone that wants to get into the space, start off with a 9 to 5, right? So you spend those hours working on someone's dream. Let's say you do 8 hours of sleep. That's always encouraged to have 8 hours of sleep. But what are you doing with the rest of that time? Are you ensuring that you work on your dream so that one day that 9 to 5 set of hours is actually doing what you want to do? Do you want to be able to wake up in the morning, pick up and say, okay, the Super Bowl is right around the corner? Do you want to be able to just wake up and say, hey, I'm going to call my friends. We're going to catch a flight. We don't really have to worry about the cost. Someone's going to pick up maybe the tickets. The other friend's going to pick up the gas for the jet and go, right? I know it's a really big example, but just to be able to travel, to be able to pick up my daughter from school whenever she wants, or to hang out, to be able to assist family, friends, whatever that is, whatever motivates you, right? You want to go see a concert. I don't have to ask permission. I just need to make sure that my clients are covered. I have a great team that works along with me in all of my businesses. So the same luxury that they extend to me, I try to extend to them as well. My personal experience, it isn't that most people don't know about the finances. I believe that they have a problem accepting it, right? So for example, let's start with budgeting. Everybody knows that they have to budget. It doesn't matter who you are. My 11-year-old daughter knows that she has to budget, right? I always teach her 3 things. When you get money, you're supposed to save a third, invest a third, and the other third you get to spend on your bills. What happens is we tend to ignore it instead of accepting it. Obviously, the end result is, you've now overspent and you've not met your requirements. It's more so the acceptance of where you're supposed to put your money. You're supposed to invest. If you want to get somewhere, you need to put a financial plan in place, right? It's that discipline. Everyone at the beginning of the year does some form of new year, new me, but they're motivated by it. What we need to get to is where we're more disciplined by it. Motivation fades over time. Discipline will make you get up in the morning because you have to go work out. Discipline will make sure that when you get paid, before you go and enjoy a Friday night with your friends, you've paid your light, your water, your cable, put gas in your car, put money aside for lunch for the rest of the month, right? So I could go back to it. It's more so us accepting what we already know. As a financial advisor, what we do is we sit you down and we make sure to tell you the truth, the hard truth, whether you like it or not, because that's really and truly what we're there for. I want to say that is almost number one. Next to, I would say, is when you start a business, make sure you're solving a problem. Aside from solving a problem, collaborating is one of the key things that needs to happen. Why? It is because you are not going to know everything. A coach and a mentor, it's collaborating. Depending on the type of services you provide, you may provide one service. Your client needs 3, but you may have a friend in the industry that provides the other. You need that form of collaboration. I would say even down to collaborating with this. So Matt Speeding, very good friend of mine, he actually collaborated with me in assisting me in launching a podcast for Balance Advisors, right? So you can actually, shameless plug, you can actually go in and see that interview. But it's those collaborations, and he's in a different industry than I'm in. He's in real estate. So he was able to provide such a great perspective. And it's that knowledge that he provides me as well that I'm able to now provide my clients. Let's take regulatory filing. So VAT, most businesses now We always encourage them, when you have your VAT filings, whether you're quarterly or monthly, when those funds come in, do the necessary separation. Just because you have the funds in your account does not mean it's yours, right? So there has to be some accountability toward it, as well as in terms of just businesses in general, financing. We want to make sure that you have the necessary tools, that budget's in place, so you know what to expect. Not all businesses have that consistent month to month business, right? And when I say that, you have a season. So like a hotel, they know during September, it's slow. So during the summer months, they have certain reserves that they put in place to be able to offset, right, that little lull in the business until it picks back up. We all need to do that in our business, no matter what industry you're in. In terms of business in our country, it's moving in a great direction where all of those items that you mentioned, so whether it's digitization, whether it is branching off into new industries, they're finding ways to export their services more, right? Which is great because you're no longer limited to just the Bahamas. And a lot of them are curating those services to do just that. And it's not just for services, but it's also for products. A lot of companies that I've seen, they've already gotten into the market where they know they now need to put the nutritional requirements, the barcodes, the proper packaging. Goes back to that strategic partnerships. I know quite a bit of clients, as well as businesses, because I'm with the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce, that have collaborated with persons abroad, whether it is in the US, China, the UK. They've now found a way to export or collaborate with those services. So they have a market that's way outside of the Bahamas. A lot of those other tasks, right? So digitization. So digitization, while it's making the ease of doing business easier, there's still a human component. I've seen as well that a lot of Bahamians, both personally and professionally, are doing a lot more of professional development, if you will. So they're taking advantage of a lot of the courses that are offered by UB, the Chamber of Commerce, BTBI, and they're expanding. They're traveling a lot more for conferences, educating themselves. The business environment that I see for the Bahamas is actually quite robust. And the way that it is taking off, I hope that more people get on board. With all of the organizations I'm a part of, I'd have to say it is ensured that, one, I give back as much as possible. It's not just financial, but also education. I encourage everyone not just to get a mentor and coach, but also to be a mentor and coach to someone. It can be the smallest bit of advice that you give someone. You never know that that might be the tool that they need to get through maybe a tough time, as simple as a problem, or inspire them to create, the newest innovation, product, service that might be needed not only for them, but within the economy. What I love about Rotary is, while it is an international organization, it is easily accessible by all. So you can go online, search up Rotary Bahamas. We have multiple clubs within the country. Those clubs are super simple to reach out to. So whether it's Facebook, Instagram, the numbers are there. Call, reach out, say what it is that you have intentions on doing or collaborating with, and I guarantee you someone will reach out. And if they don't, right, I'm a man of my word, so if they don't, please reach out to me. My office is Balance Advisors. We'll be happy to assist you in connecting the dots. That is a tough question. It's a good question, tough question. I know most persons say that they find the balance somewhere. I don't think I've found the balance, and to be honest with you, I think I've stopped looking for it. Because every day is different. Today, I can be in my office all day. There will be some sacrifices that need to be made. And then there are days when my team can tell you, I will check out of the office. Today is not the day. I'm not taking any calls, emails. If it's burning down, call me, reach me. But that might be the day where I need to now say, okay, look, I've been working too hard for the past 2 months. I need to spend some time with my daughter, with the rest of my family, some friends. Sometimes it's just a disconnect, right? I may need to recharge my own batteries. So in terms of balance, I think that's a day-to-day process. The best advice is it's a couple of things. One, I encourage people to always be open. Be open to not only developing yourself, be open to opportunities, because when you're open in that way, you can see what's coming. Someone sent it to me the other day. It's like the red car, right? When you actually consciously looking for the red car, you will see them constantly on the road, right? But if you weren't, they're just passing you by. The red cars are opportunities. I also encourage people to make sure in professional development, make sure that you're growing, understand your purpose. That is key, because once you understand that, the other dominoes you know what to put in place. So if you decide you want to get into accounting, how far do you want to go? Do you want to just learn the basics so you understand how the numbers work within your business? Or do you want to be the next CPA? Do you want to be the next head of BICA? Do you want to open up your own firm? Find your purpose, create the necessary plan to get there. Once again, coaches and mentors. So as you can see, all of these things are holistic, all right? Because you need certain advice so that you can get there. Creating a plan sounds great. It's like someone that decides to create a budget or a financial plan, right? They do it in Excel. They constantly ensure that the bottom line is always in the black. But have you done the proper research to understand that rent is not just rent? When you move in, it's first, it's last, and it's security. So if your rent is $3,000 a month, that very first month you have to come up with $9,000 before you move in. Did you research enough to know that you have to do that? Understanding the nature of your business and who you are, and making sure that that's all in the same framework. Island Run Bahamas is a marketing and app development and media company that I have. So we've done 3 apps. One we did is called Bingo Bang during COVID. So it was a nice little toy that we did to keep us busy. Then there is the inaugural app, Island Run Bahamas, which I believe is still in your app store. It is an infinite runner app, so like a Subway Surf or a Temple Run, but its environment is solely the Bahamas. It was initially built for my daughter Daniela, so she's the primary character, and you'll actually see she always wanted a dog, but you'll actually see a pot cake that runs in there with her as well. You'll see Bahamas Air, you'll see Atlantis, a bunch of other items, Pink Sand from Harper Island. Then we have Island Trivia, which is an educational app, interestingly enough. Our goal with that is to assist students while they're going through school. It allows you to keep a sharp mind. It's all based upon the curriculum of the Bahamas. And we have a couple of things in there just to keep your brain motivated. The purpose of Island Run Bahamas is actually our mission, and that is to entertain and educate. My greatest accomplishment is knowing that every day I'm still trying to contribute to the betterment of not only myself, but to others in the country as well. So there's no one award or piece of recognition. It is the fact that I will always continue to do it, and I'm motivated to do it. So for example, most people don't know about me as simple as I've been a frequent blood donor for well over a decade, right? That's not something that I would advertise per se, but it is something that I know every 2 months I will be either at doctor's or PMH to donate, and it isn't for a specific person. It is just so that I'm now contributing and assisting to the betterment, once again, of others and the country at large. AI will affect accounting where it will assist in streamlining some of the processes. So some of the items that we do can seem monotonous or tedious, if you will. So if you're doing a constant recurring posting, it will assist with that. AI will provide certain pieces of advice that you can get from, like a financial institution like myself. I always encourage persons to understand that while you're using AI, there's still a bit of a human component that you need. AI needs some tweaking every now and then, you need a certified person to assist with that. And then in terms of it being launched and applied to the accounting services that are out there, even if you're using something as simple as a QuickBooks, I would encourage persons to, one, research AI, see how it can affect your business in a positive light to increase the productivity and efficiency. Don't just implement it. Always do a test. Always do a test. No matter how small it is, always do a test to ensure that if, let's say you use AI for payroll. If your payroll process takes you 3 days, do a test to see if now the process takes you maybe a day and a half or a day, or maybe even a couple of hours. But don't just implement it where you've not properly educated your staff. You're not properly educated yourself. You just went on Google and found, okay, this is the AI platform. I'm going to purchase it. I'm going to put it in there, and it's just going to make everything great. Do the testing with the necessary persons, proper integration, and then see that it properly benefits you before you just go in whole hog. For a self-employed person, when you're just starting out, the first thing we're going to do is ask you, one, set up a separate bank account. You don't want to start commingling funds. So if you set up a separate bank account for your business, try to keep all of your banking for your business in that account. So you're now generating that proper track record. When the bank first looks at you as an entrepreneur, they're looking at your personal finances that come in. How are you going to now fund this business? Is there going to be a loan, or is it going to be from the current resources you have in that account? As soon as you open up that bank account, you're now establishing a brand new relationship. So in your business, when you now want to get a loan for equipment, they're going to look at your business first. They're going to ask you, before you started that account, do you have a business plan? They're going to analyze to make sure it makes sense. Once you have funds in that account, are those funds now ensuring that you are profitable? Your expenses that are going out, are they realistic? The bank is not just going to let you a loan for equipment, for inventory. If you want to buy a vehicle, you have to establish that proper history. And it goes once again back to budgeting and discipline. Because if you're not budgeting properly, if you're not taking the necessary precautions in your business, you're going to find that the money that's going in is going to go out just as fast. And once again, it goes back to having proper persons on staff, making sure that you're properly knowledgeable about what you're doing. Remember when I said initially that when you start a business, make sure that you're fulfilling a need, solving a problem, right? It is those items that, funny enough, the bank looks at. So I know persons give the banks a hard time. There is a reason why, right? Because we're in the financial sector as well. We've seen applications for loans for various businesses where persons want resources to build a building, back to the car, inventory, or they want to consolidate debts. But when you look at their financing, when you look at their resources, their bank accounts, what they're doing is it's cash in, cash out. I don't see where you've built a rapport enough where I now know that during your peak seasons, you're ensuring that you have enough resources. You're paying your bills on time. Even down to that, people don't realize the bank looks at that when you give them your financial records, your P&L, and your balance sheet. Holistically, I'd say as an entrepreneur, be disciplined enough, one, separate those accounts, create that rapport with your financial institution. Don't always just think that you need funding, right? Most businesses think they need like $100,000, $500,000 to open up this business. Sometimes you may just need $100 or $1,000 to get started. That's not something you need to go to a bank for. You may have necessary family members or friends that are willing to collaborate. Don't always think you need inventory to start. I can actually go on and on with this. Sometimes it's pre-orders. My daughter's actually starting a new venture, and that's one of the things that we're doing. So she's going to have pre-orders next month. I stand to be corrected. So pre-orders, once you order, we're setting up a delivery site. Well, a pickup site, sorry. And as soon as the products are coming in and properly packaged and everything, then you can do that. That eliminates the need for so much upfront capital, but it allows you to get your product sold. You know what your margins are. Know your margins, know your margins, know your cost. Actually, this can be the whole interview. Know your margins, know your cost. That all goes with the purpose and what problems that you're solving. because a lot of persons don't realize that it's the little costs that you're missing sometimes. Yes, you might factor in customs, but did you factor in the VAT on the customs? Did you factor in storage? Did you factor in delivery? Did you factor in, you may have to repackage the product depending on what you're doing. If you're making the product locally, did you factor in the necessary materials? Your time. That's one of the things that I find that a lot of entrepreneurs forget. Your time has a value. One of the reasons why I became an entrepreneur, time, right? If you are not putting the value on your time, you can create a product that may cost $30. You can sell it for 60 or 100. Great, the margin sounds fine, but how long did it take you to make that product? It might have taken you 4 days. How much is your time valued? Factor that in, because while you may make all the money off of, let's say 100 products, the business is rich, but you haven't paid yourself yet, right? And that needs to be considered. So time, all right? Value.